The boy was brought up by 5 old men. Grandpa Long stands at the peak of martial arts. Grandpa Tsang is an invincible hacker. Grandpa Lu's cooking skills are unmatched. Grandma Luo is known as Hua Tuo. But they are trapped in the restricted area of China. Since childhood, Qin Mo has studied with his grandparents, and that's what gave him his skills. It is also because of Qin Mo's existence, and let these 5 peerless elders, I have the motivation to live until a woman arrives. Completely broke the peace here. The woman was Qin Mo's mother's best friend Jiang Xiqing, to fulfill my best friend's wishes, to bring her child back to the city. She traveled all over the country, and finally found him. The first time Jiang Xiqing saw Qin Mo, suddenly excited inside, then tentatively asked, "Are you silent?" Qin Mo froze in place after hearing this. Grandpa Long sighed when he learned about it. It seems that I have already expected this day to come. Then he told Qin Mo, "It's time for you to go out and experience yourself. Maybe this will help you break through your current bottleneck." Then the 5 elders carefully prepared the luggage for Qin Mo. Grandma Luo smiled and asked to practice a few more love pills, bring some nice girls back to show Grandma. Grandpa Yun also told him to do a good divination. But don't bankrupt the casino. Keep it flowing. Grandpa Lu brought a pot of soup with tears. The food cooked outside is not delicious. Do it yourself if you can. Grandpa Tsang touched Qin Mo's little brain and didn't listen to them. Knowledge changes destiny. Hack the banking system when you're short of money. Jiang Xiqing was completely dumbfounded. Who are these people? Under the instructions of 5 grandparents, Qin Mo took Milk Ball and Jiang Xiqing on their way home. Grandpa Long watched Qin Mo leave. There was a faint reluctance in his eyes. After a 3-day journey, Qin Mo and Longshire finally returned to Huaxia City. But when you get home, Jiang Xiqing's husband, he and his daughter didn't have any good looks towards Qin Mo. Only Jiang Xiqing took good care of Qin Mo, and promised to visit his parents tomorrow. Early in the morning, the 2 of them arrived at a cemetery. Even though he never met his parents, when you see your parents' tombstones, it's also a part of him wanting to know how his parents died. But unfortunately, Qin Mo's mother was afraid that Jiang Xiqing would be implicated. There are a lot of things he doesn't talk about. Auntie Jiang, go back first. I want to be alone. Jiang Xiqing looked at Qin Mo worriedly, sighed, turned and left. At this moment, the voices of a group of people came. This tomb is the most appropriate. Captain Zhao, just trust me, I don't think I saw Qin Mo kneeling here, pointing to his parents' tombstones, and I don't know which one of them has no eyes. Occupy such a good place. Let's just do it. When he saw Qin Mo, he even kicked it over and opened it. Get out of the way. Qin Mo threw his finger into the brazier. Said slowly, please leave. I'm visiting the grave, please respect the deceased. But his feng shui master thinks he can't speak well. He turned over the brazier with his foot. This move instantly ignited Qin Mo's anger. He kicked the feng shui master in the stomach. Master's face twisted. Go back dozens of meters. Just one move to beat feng shui master to vomit blood. The sudden change caused everyone to freeze in place. Qin Mo said coldly. Finger mausoleums are an insult to the dead. Should kill. The master followed suit. He was so angry that he called Captain Zhao. This tomb is a treasure trove. We have to dig it up. It's about Grandpa's burial. Zhao Qing must not be careless. I listened to the advice of feng shui masters. Little brother, do you want to discuss it? I bought this cemetery. What if I don't? With Zhao Qing's backing, feng shui master shouted again. If you don't agree, we'll level this place. There's nothing I can't get. Qin Mo suddenly laughed when he heard this. You're a feng shui master, as a Dragon City feng shui master. Of course Tai Qing doesn't care about Qin Mo. Qin Mo said sternly. I don't know if you've heard of it. 9 stars feng shui. Feng shui event when Yan suddenly changed his face. At this moment, Qin Mo took out 9 silver needles from his chest. The silver needle was placed on the ground by Qin Mo. Evil wolf soul. Feng Wu Jiuxing snorted coldly at Qin Mo. The 9 silver needles inserted into the ground trembled. Instantly pop off the ground. Qin Mo took out a talisman. Light it up and throw it. The floating paper instantly lit up 9 silver needles. Feng shui master Zhao Bao was scared to death. It's not much different from the miracles recorded in ancient books. Then she knelt down in front of Qin Mo excitedly. I didn't know the heavenly master was here. I've offended you. Ask God's forgiveness. In terms of seniority, it's not too much to call Qin Mo Grand Advisor. Then he sighed. Captain Zhao. We can't afford to mess with him. Hurry up and leave. Zhao Qing looked at Qin Mo with a complicated expression. An idea suddenly occurred to me. Then he respectfully said to Qin Mo, "That was us being too pushy. I wonder if the heavenly teacher is proficient in medicine. Can you save my grandfather?" I heard Qin Mo say lightly that tonight was over. Is his death? Why would I save him? When you hear the word death, Zhao Qing's mood became even more agitated. It was my fault before the heavenly teacher. If you can save my grandfather, we Zhao are at your disposal. Qin Mo was moved when he heard Zhao Qing's words. Grandma Luo always taught him how to treat people kindly. Help if you can. Then he nodded and agreed. There's no one I can't cure. But disturbing my parents' pure land. We need to send someone to sweep the grave for 3 years. The arrival of Zhao Qing, a doctor from Dragon City Second Hospital, make way. This is a greasy, middle-aged man, wearing a white coat and rushing in to claim credit. After my healing, Commander Zhao can live another month. Zhao Qing recommended Qin Mo to help his grandfather see a doctor at this time. Dr. Xu Wenyan's face sank. I dare not speak to Zhao Qingfa. Then he pointed the finger at Qin Mo. What hospital are you from? What level? What's the name? Qin Mo replied indifferently that he was not in the hospital. No level. Just regular people who haven't gone to school. Dr. Zhu laughed when he heard this. Master Zhao, you took your grandfather's sex, entrusted to an uneducated little thing. I really admire you. Qin Mo's answer made Zhao Qing's expression awkward. Qin Mo walked to old Master Zhao without changing his expression. He reached out and placed his hand on old Master Zhao's pulse. There was a cure on the spot. All you have to do is inject spiritual energy into his brain and open up the blood clot. This is easy for Qin Mo. Then Qin Mo turned to Zhao Qing. I'm gonna need a live one for the lead. This statement shocked the surrounding doctors. A living centipede. That stuff is toxic. How can you cure it? Dr. Zhu shouted at the sight of this. And you only use this to make 2, and you're trying to fool us, the professionals. Who doesn't know that the poison is extremely poisonous? Touch and die. I have reason to suspect you're the enemy. Send someone to kill Zhao Lao. Zhao Qing listened to the doctor's words. His face changed greatly. Grandpa was heavily weighted. How many people wanted to hurt him? I didn't expect Qin Mo to come here to kill someone, then point to Qin Mo and arrest him. Don't arrest me. I can walk on my own. Qin Mo walked out lightly. When I passed Zhao Qing I stopped. If your grandfather dies tonight. You came to me asking for forgiveness. Inside Dragon City Detention Center, Qin Mo was locked up in a prison full of, in the cells of the most vicious prisoners. Seeing Qin Mo arrive, the scarred man suddenly touched Qin Mo's chest muscles. Qin Mo jumped in shock. What do you want? I saw the scarred man with a bad smile on his face. Take a bar of soap out of your pocket. I threw it in front of Qin Wei. Little brother's soap fell off. Please pick it up. At this moment, they still don't know Qin Mo's strength. He also wanted to use some improper means against the end of Qin dynasty. Screams coming from inside the cell. And the guards outside the door gave a wicked smile. I don't know how long this rookie will last. On the other side, the nurse from Dragon City Hospital ran over anxiously. Dr. Zhu is not well. The ECG indicators dropped rapidly. Dr. Zhu and Zhao Qing were shocked after listening to them. Zhao Qing grabbed Dr. Zhu's shoulder and shouted loudly. Didn't you tell me there was still a month? Dr. Zhu's nervous body began to tremble. Patient emergency. A lot of them are doctors, and they don't know. Zhao Qing hit the wall helplessly. Is there really nothing you can do? Suddenly, he remembered what Qin Mo had said to him when he left. If your grandfather dies tonight, you've come to see me, begging for forgiveness. Thinking of this, Zhao Qing hurriedly asked people to prepare 100 poisons for entertainment. Later, he and himself went to prison to meet Qin Mo. Outside Dragon City Prison, a couple of prison bosses sitting in the doorway playing chess, passed the time. Just then, an army jeep pulled up at the prison gate. See Zhao Qing in the car. Several prison guards quickly put away the chessboard. Salutation. What about the boy who was brought in? Take me to him quickly. The prison guard said fearfully. We're holding him in cell 002. Heard the news. Zhao Qing seemed to have been struck by lightning. Cell 002 is the scariest cell in Dragon City. The perp inside isn't just ruthless, but also special hobby. After Zhao Qing learned about it, he ran to prison 002. But when Zhao Qing saw the scene inside, he was completely dumbfounded. I saw a vicious criminal inside. Some pressed Qin Mo's back. Qin Mo had a face full of enjoyment. It's not surprising to see Zhao Qing coming. After returning to the hospital, Qin Emo immediately told Zhao Qing to prepare a pill furnace. The roast meat needs to be paired with 99 fine herbs. When everything is ready, Qin Emo took out a match and struck it. Then he threw out a soft shout, and in an instant, the pill furnace was ignited. The surrounding doctors were shocked when they saw this. Is this what happened at the end of Han Dynasty? The lost fire control technique of the pill furnace. Zhao Qing looked at Qin Mo's strength. I'm glad I did. Maybe he can save Grandpa. At this moment, Qin Mo raised his finger. Drink softly until the pill condenses. Then he slapped the furnace with his palm. The herbs in the furnace rise into the air. And it all came together in an instant, turned into a glowing pill. Qin Mo held the pill in his hand and looked at Zhao Qing. The pill has become a living 100-poison centipede. Take it with this pill. Watch the wriggling body in the bowl. Made one's scalp go numb. Do we really have to give this to Zhao Lao? Zhao Qing looked back angrily. Do you have a better solution now? After saying that, he took the pill and the 100-poison centipede, put it in Zhao Lao's mouth. The minutes are ticking away. Everyone was watching nervously. Suddenly, the EKG is responding. Everyone was shocked when they saw it. There's joy, there's fear. See the old man's body moving. Slowly opened his eyes. Zhao Qing is a generation of soldiers. At this time, I can't help crying. Kneeling beside old Zhao, she cried. Grandpa, you're finally awake. Zhao Qing wiped the tears off her face. He explained the process of Qin Mo's treatment again. Zhao Beifeng's face gradually became surprised after listening to this. There is such a youth in the world. Teacher, go and invite your benefactor over. After the end of Qin dynasty, Zhao Beifeng laughed. I can't believe I'll live to see such an amazing child. At this time Zhao Qing also let people prepare a generous gift. Mister, please accept this small thank you gift first. And then I'll give you something else to thank you for. However, Qin Mo declined. Benevolence of doctors. Do not be greedy for money. This is what Grandma Luo always taught him. Then Qin Mo turned around and left. Zhao Beifeng respected Qin Mo even more. So young and so virtuous. Thought to himself, we must make a good relationship with him. Early the next morning, Aunt Jiang brought good news to Qin Mo. Mo, go to school tomorrow. The next day, as a transfer student, I came to the physical education department of Huahai University. Seeing Qin Mo arrive, the students laughed at him. What a hillbilly. Even the teacher thinks he's a chicken. Qin Mo just found his seat. A blonde walks up to him. The next second, he kicked Qin Mo's desk over. Huang Mao is Su Yan's suitor. I heard that Qin Mo and Su Yan actually live together. This makes the yellow hair angry. He even threatened Qin Mo to stay away from Su Yan, or break his legs. Qin Mo didn't resist. Yellow hair becomes more honeyed. And Qin Mo, serving them tea at the martial arts competition later. Soon, the opening ceremony of the martial arts competition was finally ushered in. There was a loud cheer from the audience. Are cheering for the contestants. I just hope this year doesn't end up like every other year. Because the opponent is Dragon City's #1 martial arts school. At the whistle of the referee, the race starts instantly. The chicken roared to boost his morale. And then there was a bang, and the fight ended. Second up, Little Eyes was defeated at the same speed. Next, Huahai is even worse. Kneeling on the ground, begging for mercy. The chubby winner of 7 consecutive victories is becoming increasingly arrogant. Is that all you got? Not even enough to warm me up. At this moment, the audience was screaming. They put their last hope. All pinned on the yellow hair. But Huang Mao knew that he was no match for the martial arts school. At this moment, in front of the captain of the martial arts school, begging like a licking dog. The captain of the martial arts school said angrily that since he wanted to save face, then let's wait on my people first. Yellow hair understands. Yelling at Qin Mo, hurry up and get some water. An accident happened when Qin Mo handed the little fatty some water. I accidentally knocked over my water bottle and wet fatty. He's been holding back. The minute the towel hit him in the face, finally broke out. Little fatty looked at Qin Mo's expression. Get excited. Come on, get on the stage and fight. If you win, I'll kneel down and call you Grandpa. With Qin Mo on stage, and the race starts again. But there was a chorus of boos from the audience. Such a small dish chicken is also self-sufficient. No, 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 no. But in the next second, something unexpected happened. Suddenly rushed to Qin Mo's chubby. He was knocked to the ground in one move. This scene shocked the judge's eyes. Qin Mo asked, who else? Boxer boy jumped up on stage. But not yet. Qin Mo's god was sent flying by the fist that was facing him. Don't waste your time. All of you come together, such an open tone. It also completely ignited the anger of the martial arts school. They all rushed towards Chin Mo. However, Chin Mo defeated all of them with 1-7, and shocked everyone in the audience. And won the tournament for Huahai University. Not only did Su Yan change her view of him, he also gained a bunch of fans chasing after Chin Mo's disciples. I thought I had escaped the pursuit of my junior classmates, Chin Mo, who can be quiet for a while, and once again, I'm in trouble. A girl walked up to Chin Mo and shouted, I'm not giving you my contact information. Would you stop following me? The sudden question made Chin Mo's face black. The next morning, Chin Mo is walking in the park with Milk Balls. Looking back, Milk Ball actually ran towards a girl. The girl waved the pancake in front of the Milk Ball. Milk Ball wags his tail and eats. I didn't think I'd spit it out just after taking a bite. Chin Mo picked up the Milk Ball and quickly apologized. The Milk Ball was just a picky eater. It's not that your pancakes suck. The girl saw Chin Mo coming. The smile on your face disappeared. You're annoying. I told you, I'm not giving you any contact information. Using cute puppies to get close to me was so lame. Chin Mo was at a loss for 2 consecutive misunderstandings. But at this moment, a group of ruffians came up to them. The head of the plane looked at the girl maliciously. Are you trying to get my attention? The girl's name is Chinwan. My parents lived 3 times on a pancake stand. Because it's too pretty. There's always some punk looking for trouble. And this airplane head, always on the grounds of protection money, to threaten his parents. I can't help but curse. Are you done? Isn't it enough that you trashed my stall last time? After the plane head was scolded, it became more and more excited. And you're not happy? I love the way you're a wildcat. At this moment, Chin Mo suddenly stood up, the hand holding the nose of the plane firmly. Strong big hand holding the airplane head. Cold sweat DC. Tears welled up in her eyes. Chin Mo ignored the plane's head. Look at Chinwan and explain that I really didn't come to harass you. And then to the head of the plane, say you want pancakes. I'll make you. The plane head looked fiercely at Chin Mo. What the fuck are you gonna do? Chin Wei picked up the tools skillfully. This stunned Father Chen and Mother Chen. But every minute, a perfect pancake was made. The aroma filled the streets instantly. Time attracted Sue. Multiplayer, they've never smelled pancakes like this before. The smell alone is enough to make your mouth water. This plane is greedy. Don't want it. Urging Chin Mo to quickly give him the pancakes, and then he throws it. Fresh pancake right on his face. All I heard was a scream like a pig being slaughtered. See the boss beaten. A few lackeys roared and rushed towards Chin Mo. I want you to kill this kid. Chinwan was so frightened that her face turned pale. She anxiously shouted at Chin Mo. Run! They're really gonna shoot you. Unexpectedly, Chin Mo did not panic. Pick up a shovel and pull out a few pancakes in a row. And threw it in their faces. Come on. Not enough. Hot pancakes right on the faces of the people who come rushing in. A few lackeys covered their faces, and he cried out in pain. Chin Mo smiled and walked to the front of the airplane. How about that? Are you full? The plane's head was so scared that it kept backing up and was full. I'm gonna get out of here. Then he was replaced by a younger brother and left. At this moment, Chin Mo was still calling out from behind. Come back when you're done. Thinking of being the boss, I lost face today. When suddenly turned around and shouted at Chin Mo. Wait for me, I will definitely come back. Chin Mo helped the Chen family solve the crisis. Father Chen and Mother Chen kept saying thank you. Chinwan said reluctantly, Dad on the side. What's there to thank for? Look at him wasting our good stuff. In fact, this is not Chinwan's fault. He grew up in a poor family. But because of his good looks, a lot of rich kids courted him. Because he's seen too many patterns. Naturally, the Qin dynasty. I hate this pursuit. Chin Mo did not take this matter to heart. And then I'm going to the park to practice my sword. When Chin Wei came to the park, in front of everyone, and pulled a big sword out of his crotch. This crotch is really comparable to Doraemon's 100 treasure bag. This sword is called Dragon Sea, spiritual ability to recognize the master, and extremely loyal. Chin Mo stood upright with his sword, 10 times of Ling Zhao's downward chop. Every move is like flowing water. Just then, the plane was headed by a man with a fierce face. Came to the park, find Chin Mo for revenge. Seeing that Chin Mo did not leave, airplane head shouted excitedly, Big brother. It was him. Chin Mo withdrew his sword, frowning. Haven't you had enough of those pancakes? I saw a small leopard print fiercely sizing up Chin Mo. You look like a chicken. Touch my brother. Chin Mo said coldly that he was beaten by me. What do you want? I saw that the leopard print extended 2 fingers to Chin Mo. You beat my brother up like this. You're not leaving without 200,000. The melon-eating crowd in the park saw it. Shaking their heads and sighing, this child is going to die. He offended the Tiger family boxing school. Chin Mo realized at this moment that I understood. Are you trying to blackmail me? Chin Mo's eyes flashed with killing intent. And what if I don't? If not, I'll beat you until you do. As he spoke, Little Leopard clenched his fists and charged towards Chin Mo, but Chin Mo only flashed. Easily evaded the leopard's stormy fists. Then an old man, and saw the park full of people. The shopkeeper came with a cane and watched the fun. The old man was shocked when he saw the scene in front of him. The clothes on his body were instantly torn to pieces, and then he took out the bucket, trying to capture this amazing fight scene. At this time, the leopard print clenched its fists again and rushed towards Chin Mo. It's not too late to cry and beg for money. Chin Mo, on the other hand, did not change his expression, and punched the leopard in the face, along with the whale. The leopard print fell to the ground and never got up again. The crowd was shocked. Really? The eldest disciple of Wuja Boxing Hall was knocked out by one punch. At this moment, Chin Mo looked at the small leopard print that was lying on the ground. It's hard to beat such a big body in your mouth. I didn't expect you to be so weak. And then a harmless smile. Stealthily looking at the nose of the plane. Is there anything else I can do for you? Seeing Chin Mo's malicious smile. Frightened, the first class fled in a hurry. Just as Chin Mo was about to leave, the old man stopped Chin Mo's footsteps. Clenched her hands. Chin Wei's eyes are full of admiration, thanks to you. So I can create something that breaks through the bottleneck. I'm destined for you. I intend to present this painting to you. A group of people around them cast their beautiful eyes one after another. It is said that any painting by Lu Lao is worth tens of millions. But at the end of Qin dynasty, he declined Lu Lao's kindness, because it seemed to him a little flawed. But when it did, shocked everyone present. The bearded man next to me walks in, explained to Chin Mo, young man. You don't know, do you? The man in front of you. He is a famous master of Chinese painting, Lu Lao. How many people want his words but can't get them? As a Chinese painting lover, he is also a loyal fan of Lu Lao. No one is allowed to comment on Lu Lao's works. But Chin Mo snatched the painting from the man's hand. Then he began to modify Lu Lao's paintings on it. When Chin Mo released the revised painting to the public, old Lu's body trembled. This painting not only made the bearded man's jaw drop, it also made old Lu have the idea of Chin Mo's apprenticeship. But Chin Mo said he was just painting for fun. This painting instantly made Lu Lao ashamed. Just before Chin left, the bearded man hurried to catch up. Master Chin, please forgive me. Please forgive me. May I ask you to give me a painting, but not for a long time? A landscape painting. And it's in the hands of the bearded man, which is amazing. Master Chin, whether it's painting or artistic conception, are first rate. It's a gold card from the gifted hotel. If you come, all our services are free. Please accept my offer. As he spoke, he handed over the gold card. At the end of Qin dynasty, thinking about hotels I'm not interested in going to. Zhao Qing suddenly rushed over to Mr. Qin in a hurry. Finally found you. Grandpa's recovery feast is in 3 days. Please come. 3 days later, Qin came to attend Zhao Lao's recovery feast, and I happened to run into my classmate Yellow Hair. He thought the Qin dynasty was working and studying. I wanted to humiliate him. So as soon as he entered the banquet, he began to order Qin Mo around. Get me a glass of wine. Qin Mo glanced at him coldly. So I poured him a glass, seeing Qin Mo suffer under his hands. The Yellow Hair almost couldn't suppress the excitement in his heart. Just then, Goldie had an idea. Then she walked to Qin Mo, sprinkled that glass of red wine all over him. And then he shouted, "Is the lobby manager here? Look what you waiters did." The lobby manager quickly said to Huang Mao. Apparently, he knows this rich kid from Dragon City. She looked at Qin Mo, who was dressed as a waiter. I can't help but say, "What are you doing? Hurry up and apologize to Lu Xiao." The blonde waved his hand proudly. All sanctimonious. There's no need for my classmate to apologize, but instead, he smiled and pointed at his feet. But always kneel down and clean me up. This is Mr. Zhao's recovery dinner. Qin Mo didn't want to add to the situation. He turned around and ignored them. The lobby manager saw Qin Mo's attitude. You're fired from the hotel. Now get out. Just then, the door was suddenly opened. Old Zhao walked over with a group of people in big strides. Go straight to Qin Mo. He bowed in front of Mr. Qin. Zhao Mao has lost the distance to welcome, I hope you understand. It quieted the whole party. Open your mouth wide and look at this incredible yellow hair, and I'm frozen in place. You look like shit. What is Teacher Zhao's status? What do you give to bend over? Qin Mo smiled and said it was fine. Zhao Lao turned his finger to Huang Mao and others. Mr. Qin is a distinguished guest of the Zhao family. Even if you are Lu Lao's grandson, and you're not allowed to be presumptuous. As for the lobby manager, old Zhao just greeted the hotel owner. He said that the manager's business is not good, and then he was thrown out of the hotel. Qin Wei was honored as a guest of honor by Zhao Lao, and ported himself. Yellow hair is a person curled up in the corner, but ignored. He stared at Qin Mo, eyes full of jealousy. Dinner. Many big shots in Dragon City took out their generous gifts. Zhao Lao took over, but there's nothing happy about it. He's got enough of this stuff. Nothing to be happy about. At this moment, the yellow hair felt that his opportunity had come, so he came to Zhao Lao and opened a scroll, claiming that this is a gift from his grandfather to Zhao Lao. The guests were amazed at this ink painting. Yellow-haired is very proud of seeing this. He told everyone about the origin of this painting. This is my grandfather. I happened to meet a teenage dancer in the park the other day. Fight dozens of disciples of Tiger Family Boxing Hall with one's own strength, and beat them to the punch. His eyes were filled with admiration. Then he pointed at Qin Mo. I want to see what gift he brought for Zhao Lao. And I want to take this opportunity. Qin Mo couldn't pick it up in front of all the guests. Qin Mo sipped red wine. I gave him a life. Isn't that enough? But when it did, everyone present was stunned. Even an idiot would know. Old Zhao's illness was cured by this young man in front of him. Yellow-haired nature is not convinced. Go on. I'm talking about gifts. What do you mean by coming here empty-handed? Qin Mo glanced at him indifferently. Even that painting your grandfather gave you, it's all my advice. What's so funny about you? All the guests burst out laughing. Who doesn't know how powerful Lu Lao's landscape paintings are? Looking at the entire Huai province, they're all the best. For the end of Qin's mouth to speak wild words, the guest's impression of him was also greatly reduced. After a while, old Lu came from outside. Zhao Lao also rushed to meet him. The two of them exchanged greetings after not seeing each other for a long time. Yellow Hair doesn't want to miss the chance to humiliate Qin Mo. He smiled and said, Grandpa? Someone just said he gave you some pointers. Is that funny? Teacher Lu looked in the direction of Sun Tzu's finger. Just happened to meet Qin Mo's eyes. When I saw Qin Mo's face, I was shocked. Then he took Qin Mo in his arms and held Master Qin in his arms. I haven't seen you since last time. It's a blessing to see you again today. Looking at Grandpa's attitude towards Qin Mo, the smile on the yellow-haired face froze instantly. It's like he swallowed shit. And he wanted to find a hole in the ground right away. The next morning, Qin Mo came to the allocated dormitory. Luo Yang is a fitness maniac. Second brother Qian has a mine at home. Wang Xiao is a college student from the countryside. He's honest. The three of them are very welcome to face the arrival of the end of Qin dynasty, and Qian also organized a friendship for the end of Qin dynasty. Qin Mo wanted to refuse but was dragged away by the two of them. A few people soon arrived at the door of the Talent Hotel. I didn't expect to meet Qinwan here. Qinwan sighed helplessly when she saw Qin Mo. He didn't expect Qin Mo to be so persistent in pursuing him, and you're making friends. That's way too shameless. When several people walked into the hotel lobby, several girls were instantly attracted to a landscape painting. They're in the literature department. I know some Chinese painting. There's no doubt that this is a masterwork. Just as they were singing happily, Qiandi's girlfriend suddenly said with a dark face, I'm kind, roommate bonding. That's all I'm looking for. He's mad at his boyfriend's roommate. Especially Qin Mo's rustic clothes. See? It's a poor D. Just then, the box flash suddenly opened. A bunch of guys in suits broke in. They're Pepsi executives. Today's gathering specially chose the Talent Hotel. When she entered the private room, she looked proudly at Qin Mo and the others. You guys get out of here. We've booked the place. Qiandi stood up at a loss. We decided this place first. The manager of the hotel on the side smiled and said, Mr. Qian. They have silver cards for the gifted hotel. Even a silver card. And more distinguished than ordinary guests. And the right to use the box at will. At this time, Zhou Wang, vice president of Pepsi Group, smiled. You hear me? Don't stay here if you don't have money. Poor guy. It's embarrassing for Chandy. If we leave like this, we'll lose face. Su Lily impatiently grabbed Qian and walked out. Bring your poor roommates here. Aren't you ashamed enough? Get out of here. Just then, Qin Mo suddenly took out a gold card. Does this card belong to you? And that stunned everyone. Who would have thought a poor kid? Gold card for the talented hotel. Look at the whole city. I can count on one hand the number of people who have gold cards. Su Lily couldn't accept the fact that Qin Mo had a gold card. Whispering softly, Is this gold card fake? Her words were heard by the executives on the side. He immediately stood up and sneered. I think it's fake. Why would a gifted gold card be given to a poor student? The manager on the side also agreed. Yes. Did you pick it up or steal it? And then a bunch of security guards came in, prepared to drive Qin Weijian away. Just then, all of a sudden, there's a roar. Stop it! It was Sun Xing, the owner of the Talent Hotel. The manager bowed to the boss when he saw the visitor. Why are you here? It's just a little thing. Sun Xing gave him a big mouth directly. Mr. Qin is a VIP of our hotel. Is that how you treat me? Then he turned around and smiled at Qin Wei. Let me know first, so I could come and greet you. Qin Mo was indifferent to just having dinner with his roommate. If you see me off, I've already seen it in the lobby. Everyone heard the conversation between the two people and was shocked to drop their jaws. What kind of person is Sun Xing? Dragon City Black and White all-eat big boss. Such a person was so polite to Qin Mo. And the landscape paintings displayed in the hall. Everyone thinks it's from a master of traditional Chinese painting. I didn't expect that person to be Qin Mo. At this time, the manager smiled at Zhou Wang and said to Zhou Zong, Would you like to change to another box? At this time, Zhou Wang had no face to stay here anymore. Screaming at the manager to get lost. When I left, I still thought of Qin Mo fiercely. I'll write this down for you. After dinner, Qin Mo went back to the dormitory to cultivate alone, but he found that the spirit of the city was too thin. Without Pei Yuandan's assistance in cultivation, I'm afraid it's very difficult for me to break through to the early stage of foundation establishment. The next morning, at the end of Qin Dynasty, he came to the largest pharmaceutical group in Dragon City. The receptionist was unhappy when she saw Qin Mo's poor face. Pointing to the pill, he said, Are you sure you want these herbs? These are all worth 100,000 pounds. Can you afford it? Qin Mo listened to it and was blinded. Hundreds of thousands of dollars at this time. A cold voice came. You can afford it. And I'm not gonna sell it to you, it's the gift. Zhou Wang, who was severely slapped by Qin Mo in the hotel. Zhou Wang looked at Qin Mo arrogantly. Seeing Qin Mo standing where he was, there was nothing he could do. Zhou Wang was extremely proud. In Zhou Wang's eyes, Qin Mo was just a shrimp. Then he ordered everyone to chase Qin Mo out. Just as Qin left, middle-aged men, and he came over with the help of a girl. The middle-aged man looked weak. I can't even walk properly. Zhou Wang saw the two of them and quickly greeted them from the head. Miss Bai, you're here. The person who came was Bai He, president of Baihe Pharmaceutical. Star and his daughter Bai Yu ran. At this time, Bai Xing weakly opened his mouth and said, Xiao Zhou, is your doctor here yet? Zhou Wang quickly smiled and said, I'll be back. I frowned. My dad was sick. And you're telling me to wait. After listening to the people, they quickly berated the road. Don't be rude. Just then, Qin Mo's voice sounded behind the two of them. I can save you, but I need some herbs. After Zhou Wang saw Qin Mo, gritting his teeth, he's still here. Just then, Qin Mo said indifferently that your illness was caused by overwork. Severe damage to the nerves in the back leads to involvement of the cranial nerves, and the resulting debilitating symptoms. His words made everyone freeze. You can tell the cause by looking at your face. Even more than the hospital. Zhou Wang was furious after listening, immediately let Qin Mo leave. But it was stopped by Bai Xin on the side. Zhou Wangang wanted to say something, but seeing Bai Xian's unhappy face, the words were on the tip of my tongue, and I swallowed them back. After a while, a doctor in a coat came in. Dr. Zhu from the Chinese Naval Hospital. After seeing hundreds of stars, they excitedly welcomed them. I didn't expect to have you here. Dr. Zhu is used to such scenes. After a polite response, he began to treat Bai Xin. Zhou Wang sneered at Qin Mo, who was not far away. You're gonna have a hard time, you little punk. After a while, Dr. Zhu made a mistake after examining Bai Xian's body. At this moment, Qin Mo's voice suddenly came from little Zhu. If you can't fix it, leave it to me. Everyone looked at Qin Mo in shock. Think this guy's crazy. How dare you insult Dr. Chu? Zhou Wang could not suppress his anger after listening. He rushed up and wanted to hit Qin Mo, but then Dr. Zhu suddenly shouted, "Stop it!" Then he came to Qin Mo and smiled at Mr. Qin. "I didn't expect you here. You know, I'm here to embarrass you." "Didn't you hit me in the face?" This made everyone's jaw drop. Who doesn't know Dr. Chu? He's the best doctor in Huaihai province. How dare you be respectful to this kid? Zhou Wang's expression was gloomy at this time. He's been kneeling to Dr. Chu for half a month, and now he's scolding him in public for Qin Mo. But then he smiled evilly, thinking about his next move. At this time, the people tentatively asked Dr. Zhu, "My illness?" Dr. Zhu repeatedly sighed about long-term strain. "There's nothing I can do. If it were Mr. Qin, he wouldn't be able to cure it. I'm afraid no one in Huaihai can cure this disease." No one expected Dr. Zhu spoke so highly of Qin Mo. Qin Mo naturally moved from the corner edge. "The child is praised by hundreds of families to be a soldier. Mr. Qin asked you to trouble yourself?" Qin Mo's expression suddenly twisted and he was scared by someone. "My feet are weak now. Let this Zhou Wang of yours come over and help me press." Zhou Wang was so angry when he heard Qin Mo's words, but Bai Xin came. He said sternly that he had just attacked Mr. Qin. "You're wrong. Just do it." Zhou Wang could only hold tears in his eyes. Squatting on the ground obediently, she massaged Qin Mo's legs. Qin Mo was still laughing twice. "Make sure he's strong enough. Before long, Qin will let Bai Xian lie on the bed, prepared to begin treatment." Qin Mo waved the silver needle from the air a few times. But there was a flame burning at the tail of the silver needle. Falling. Bai Xian made a comfortable cry. Dr. Zhu trembled with excitement. "Is this the long-lost art of fire moxibustion?" Bai Xin after acupuncture. "I've never felt better." Qin Mo cured the chronic diseases that had plagued him for many years. Bai Xin is excited. Qin Mo hadn't said anything yet. Suddenly, Zhou Wang stood up. His eyes were cold. Bai Xin felt that something was wrong. Look around warily. "What do you want?" Suddenly, Zhou Wang pulls a gun from his waist. "I want you dead." "I don't want you to get better." At Zhou Wang's command, literally dozens of executives have taken out guns to point at the public. "Blame it on you. You're cured today. I wanted you to live a few more years in peace." But then a cold voice came from the side. "I saved this life. When do you get to decide who lives or dies?" Zhou Wang angrily turned around. The muzzle suddenly pointed at Qin Mo, a hero in the face of death. "Then I'll kill you first." The end of Qin dynasty learned a great ability from childhood, and now he's got a gun to his head. Qin Mo looked at Zhou Wang. "The lightweight wants my life. You can try." These words completely ignited Zhou Wang's anger. And then he pulled the trigger in anger. Qin Mo reacted quickly. Several silver needles flew out of his hand. One of the needles stopped an oncoming bullet. The rest of the silver needles instantly went towards Zhou Wang. They're all stuck in his acupoints. Zhou Wang watched Qin Mo Chao approach him step by step. I can't help but roar. "What are you doing? Quick, shoot!" Qin Wei steps forward, gently moved a silver needle. The pain in the heart made Zhou Wang pass out directly. The lack of backbone has caused many executives to panic. All of them bowed to the power of the silver needles at the end of Qin dynasty. After a while, the police took everyone away. This crisis is over. In order to repay the late Qin dynasty, not only can Qin Mo take medicine at Baihe Medicine Hall, he also paid 15 million yuan to the late Qin dynasty for visiting patients. Even his daughter Bai Yuan was given to Qin Mo as his disciple, with the first bucket of gold in life. Qin Mo wanted to buy himself a car. To own a sports car. I'm afraid most boys dream of it. Next morning, Qin Mo and Bai Yuan, we came to Dragon City together, one of the 3 super sports car lines, the Car Friend car line. The salesman saw the arrival of the 2 men at the end of Qin dynasty. How come 2 per students come in with such a bored face? You 2 go home. Look, don't touch it. You can't afford to break it. Since then, I have not been angry at all. Roll up your sleeves and teach him a lesson. But Qin Mo stopped him in time. An enthusiastic young salesman came up smiling. May I introduce you to the model? The old woman sneered and looked over. The vice senior looks at Xiao Bai's posture. But Qin Mo doesn't even need an introduction. I'm about to book a Lamborghini. The old woman's eyes turned green. And then he came running and pushed the intern aside. Boy wants a guinea. Let me introduce you. I'm the most experienced salesman here. Qin Mo went straight over and stayed there. His face looks like the Tibetan plateau. Don't be an eyesore. The old woman's face turned purple with anger. who looks like the Tibetan plateau. I'm not allowed to introduce you today. I'm gonna get somebody to beat you up, the intern next to him said worriedly. Why don't you ask Sister Wang to recommend it to you, or we'll be in trouble? Bai Yuran curled her lips and looked expectant. Trouble is the last thing you need. The old woman gnashed her teeth after hearing this, ran to the side and made a phone call. You look like you want to finish with Chin Mo. Hey. Hubby, someone bullied me. And you want to molest me? Come on. Chin Mo ignored him directly. And book the 8 million guineas. He's the one, but it needs to be changed. The intern stood still after listening to it. This is the best supercar in the world. Are you sure you want to modify? Just then, the door was suddenly opened. A group of burly men came in. The old woman only cried to Chin Mo after seeing her husband. They want to bully others. Men, listen. Pick up the club and hit Bai Yuran directly. Go to hell. This scene made everyone's faces show different expressions. The intern covered his face in fear. The old woman smiled proudly. But in the next second, the man's club stopped in midair. The old woman said proudly when she saw the situation. What are you waiting? Let's get rid of them. It's annoying to watch, and by this time, the man had already been scared beyond recognition, apparently recognized by Yuran. Old women don't fight until they're late. And pushed him behind his back. But I got a big pussy pocket. And it was sent flying dozens of meters away. The man immediately shouted. You want to kill me, don't you? The old woman covered her face and was about to scold the man. But I saw something incredible. Since the moon is pointing a gun at a man, who doesn't want to live? The man was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat. I immediately knelt on the ground and admitted that I was me. I'm tired of living. I didn't see Mount Tai and bumped into you, Miss Yuran. Please spare my life. These words shocked everyone. So he's the daughter of Pepsi. You know, PepsiCo is a real estate company, cut off the pharmaceutical industry in Dragon City, assets over 10 billion, and the old lady, it's like falling into an ice cave. It's all over now, no amount of people can suck up to him. I offended him. At this time, Bai Yuran said coldly that you can roll the chicken. The punks are shooting like crazy. Thinking about getting out of here right now, but his leg was held tightly by the old woman. The hooligan immediately shouted, Get lost. You're such a loser. Get the hell out of here. At this moment, Chin Mo looked at Yuran happily. Where did you get that gun? Bai Yuran smiled proudly ever since Zhou Wang caused trouble. My dad gave me a pair, Shifu. Do you want one? Just now, a high-quality human male. Walking at a pace that no one knows, walk into the car-friend car shop. Seeing that Chin Mo was a young man, she immediately smiled. You're the one who wants to modify the car, aren't you? Chin Mo nodded. But when he saw the car Chin Mo was going to modify, Lamborghini's face changed instantly. I don't need to be modified for this kind of top-notch supercar. Who changed that? Chin Mo looked at the weak chicken with an expression. You mean it can't be modified? Quality men feel undervalued. I'm a little annoyed. I think you're just looking for trouble. Who can change this top sports car? Chin Mo heard this and threw the man aside. Shut up. All of them. I'm bored if you're not. The manager brought the best accessories in the store. I'm gonna change that. The high-quality male immediately ridiculed me. If you can fix this Kinney, I'll pay for the installation. But let Chin Mo show a successful smile. A moment later, everyone watching was shocked to drop their jaws. After modification by the end of Qin Dynasty, $1 million supercar. It actually changed the effect of 10 million levels. Such ability. Even a world-class modder might not be able to do it. The melon-eating crowd watching from the side fried the pot. They all took out an annual salary of 10 million yuan and hired Chin Mo, and that's when high-quality men tried to slip away. But I was grabbed by Bai Yuran and wanted to slip away. Let's settle these accessories first. Just over 3 million. Hearing your own money fly away. Quality men's hearts are broken. But Chin Mo and Bai Yuran were on their way back. Bai Yuran suddenly blushed. He said to Chin Mo, Do you want to come to my house? No one in my family wants you to do that for me. Hearing Bai Yuran's words, Chin Mo couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of sleep foam. Seduction is definitely seduction. Then two little people appeared in his head. Grandpa Tsung taught him to be upright. Refuse that girl. Grandma Luo told him not to listen to the old man. Get rid of this girl. Who should I listen to more at this time? You can't be a fool if you listen to Grandpa Tsung. Bai Yuran hugged Chin Mo excitedly. I knew Shifu was willing to help me change cars. As soon as she said that, it directly shattered Chin Mo's beautiful fantasy. Fuck you, Chin Mo kicked Bai Yuran out. and then he just drove off. Back to school, Chin Mo parked his car in a parking space not far from the dormitory. After returning to the dormitory, Chin Mo began to refine pills. Just as Chin Mu was refining pills, a gentleman with glasses walked over to Chin Mo. I heard you were making pills. I thought I'd stop by. Glasses man's name is Li Xiang. He's a junior in medicine. My family has a long history in medicine. Chin Mo smiled and nodded. Did not refuse. Li Xiang didn't look down on Chin Mo because he was an athlete. On the contrary, he would ask Chin Mo some questions from time to time. Chin Mo patiently answered Li Xiang's question. Just then, Chandy suddenly pushed the door open. Come and see, there's a modified Lamborghini downstairs. It's so cool. That curve, that body, it's hard to look at. Wang Xiaona and Luo Qing immediately saw stars. Take us there. Qiandi said sincerely. Who wants to sit down for me? I can call him Dad. Just then, to put a shiny bullet cart. The key appears in front of the former enemy. Chin Mo said indifferently since he was so. Take it if you like. A dormitory full of people completely dumbfounded. Qiandi thought he was the richest one in the dormitory. I didn't expect Chin Mo to be the most awesome. Daddy, I'll come back and give you monkeys. Then he ran out. At this time, Lamborghini has already been surrounded by people. Yellow hair is at the front of the crowd. He touched the Lamborghini. Suddenly I feel that my Audi 8 is an Alto. Yan, this car is so handsome. Lu Xiaoli couldn't help but take out his mobile phone, with the limo. Su Yan looked around. Look, the students are all watching the car. Didn't notice him. He also quietly took out his cell phone, and a sneaky photo with the limo. And that's when Chandy was walking around with his car keys. A self-righteous bastard walks up to the car. Goldie and the others were stunned. They heard about the money. But I didn't realize it was so rich. Qiandi and several people enjoyed the unique self-light of everyone, did not say anything, closed the door and disappear right in front of everyone. Chin Mo didn't know what was happening outside. He put the refined pills into a box. And then put it in the cabinet. Chin Mo left Li Xiang. He slipped into his dorm room. Then he secretly opened the cabinet. Take out a small Piyuan pill and eat it. After a while, Li Xiang's body couldn't help but tremble. Give him instant power. Looking at the box full of pills. Greed in Li Xiang's eyes. But he didn't know it was going to kill him. Xinhuan came to the pancake stall early in the morning to sell. Because it's the flowers of the literature department, Xinhuan is also known as Pancake Shisher. So business is booming. A lot of boos around here are jealous. Just then, the head of the plane appeared with a group of people in an aggressive manner. And then he slammed his hand on the pancake counter. That Qin kid. Today I will. His life. Give him up. At this time, Xinhuan kindly reminds you of your hand. And that's when the nose noticed. His hands were already on fire. How dare you plot against me? The younger brother next to him looked helpless. Didn't you fucking press it? Although Xinhuan was afraid at this time, but still did not choose to betray the end of Qin dynasty. Airplane Head revealed a sinister expression when he saw this. I don't know, right? Then he turned over the pancake stand with one foot. Xinhuan, who wanted to stop him, and he gets a backhand reward for a big pussy fight. Watching the pancake stand that lives on get smashed, Xinhuan's parents left helpless tears. A dozen stall owners around are gloating over this. A middle-aged man who also sells pancakes. The shrew is still clapping and cheering. Just when Xinhuan felt sad and helpless. Suddenly a handkerchief was handed to him. Stop crying, wipe it first. I'll take it from here. After all, I started this. Airplane Head was excited to see Qin Mo's arrival. Boy. I've been waiting for you. Then everyone jumped up and attacked Qin Mo. And all I heard was a baby boom. The warm-up exercise at the end of Qin dynasty was not finished, and he struck them all to the ground. The Plane Head is unwilling to roar at the end of Qin dynasty. Wait for me, the head of Wujia Boxing Hall will not let you go. Qin Mo's face darkened after listening. To raise scum like you. It's obvious that your leader isn't a good person either. Tell him I'll visit him in 2 days. Inside Chenjiaxia, family still upset about what just happened. This can suddenly cut off the family's financial resources. Qin Mo said to Xinhuan in the corner. Let me buy you a car. You're back in business. But Xinhuan's tears flowed down from the corners of her eyes again. It's useless. Even with a new car, you can't make money, because business was so good. My booth was crowded out. Especially that bitch Lu Pujiao. Contact other people to exclude my family. All we have is grits. Can't do anything. But Chin Mo was full of confidence. Coarse corn flour was enough. I'll teach you how to do it. Next morning, just when everyone was glad that no one was competing for business, and then I saw Chen's pancakes across the street. Chin Mo and Chen Wan shouted loudly in front of the booth. Saw this scene. Lu Pujiao and a few people were directly shocked and opened their mouths wide. But then Lu Pujiao looked disdainful again. They didn't even see what they were making. Just then, Father Chen took out a sack of coarse corn flour from the car. Lu Po's feet were completely shocked after seeing it. Isn't this corn for pigs? Where is it for people to eat? A lot of curious students wanted to try some. But hearing Lu Pujiao's words, he couldn't help but look at the Chen family in disgust. High-end ingredients often require simple cooking. Just after Father Chen sprinkled chopped green onion and spread sauce, the alluring aroma soon spread through the snack street. The students who left just now were attracted by the fragrance again. At this moment, they all thought to themselves that if pigs could eat so delicious, I'd like to be a pig. When the other students saw it, they didn't care if it was pig food or not. They all started fighting to get up. The students of Times Snack Street gathered here. Chen's pancakes lined up hundreds of meters long. Even a few classmates at Lu Po's food stand. They also ran towards Chen's stall. At night, Chin Mo returned to his dormitory. I received a call from Chen Wan to thank Chin Mo for his help. I want to ask her out to the movies. Of course, Chin Mo agreed immediately if there was a good thing. This can envy Chin Mo's roommates. Chin Mo suddenly remembered that he couldn't forget to cultivate, but when he opened it, only to find it empty. Then I asked my brother, "Brother San, did you touch anything in my locker?" Wang Xiaona and Luo Yang shook their heads after listening. Chin Mo glanced at them and found out they weren't lying. But who stole it? It wasn't expensive to Chin Mo, but the average person eats it. Will be clear for a while. The body becomes different from ordinary people, but after that, they'll dry up and die. Just then, the enemy suddenly pushed the door open. Big news. Big news. Did you hear? Li Xiang, a junior in the Faculty of Medicine, developed a pill that could alter the functioning of the human body. Chin Mo's face turned ashen after hearing this. It seems that Li Xiang stole it. I taught him alchemy without any ill will. He stole the pills instead. I guess I was too kind. Huahai University is particularly lively today, just to welcome Li Xiang back. Chin Mo saw thousands of crazy classmates. Shook his head helplessly. There are more ignorant people in this world than he thought. Then a voice came. Isn't this Senior Chin Mo, who fought 7 times in the competition? Are you here to follow the stars? Senior Li Xiang is also Su Yan's idol. Chin Mo said indifferently. I'm here to get my pills back. At this moment, Su Yan said sarcastically to Chin Mo. You're really something. You want to take advantage of Senior Li Xiang even though you don't have the ability. Chin Mo curled his lips and was too lazy to explain. This is a bus parked in front of people. Li Xiang's final appearance. Instantly, the spotlight is on you, surrounded by countless schoolgirls. It can be said that it is a success. Suddenly Chin Mo appeared in front of Li Xiang. He said coldly, "Give me back my pills." Li Xiang's expression stiffened when he heard this, but still smiling. Do we know each other? And if it's okay, please step aside. All right, when the time comes, don't beg me when something happens. Chin Mo said calmly and left. Chin Mo didn't care about those pills. Li Xiang is courting death. It has nothing to do with him. But Chin Mo suddenly thought of something. If Li Xiang gives the pills to others, that's gonna kill a school blockbuster. Their lives are innocent. Thinking of this, Chin Mo immediately turned around and ran towards Li Xiang. At this time, Li Xiang is showing the small Peiyuan single, and to thank his mentor for his cultivation. He even specially sent a pill. Just as Professor Lin was about to take the pill, the doors of the auditorium were suddenly thrown open. You can't take this pill. He's gonna kill you. Chin Mo's words resounded throughout the ceremony. After a brief pause, the crowd burst into laughter. Isn't that the idiot who blocked the way? What's wrong with a sports student? At this time, Professor Lin also opened his mouth and said, Did you see it? If my students are so brainless, I'll have lived for nothing. As he spoke, he stood in front of Chin Mo. He ate the pill like a provocation. In an instant, Professor Lin's eyes lit up. He was excited when he felt the power. This is magic medicine, don't say dead. I feel like I could live another 500 years without a problem. But he never would have imagined. What awaits him is exhaustion and death. And the students in the audience. I also felt Professor Lin's body change. He felt Chin Mo was a fool. Chin Mo coldly glanced at the thousands of students in the auditorium. You will pay for your ignorance. Then he left calmly. Then Qin Mo drove to Baijia Manor. Bai Yuan waited at the door early. Qin Mo got out of the car and carried her excitedly. This made Qin Mo blush. Then Qin Mo pretended to cough twice. Then he hurried into the 100 houses. Within the courtyard of Baijia, a middle-aged man and an old man are fighting fiercely. After a long time, Bai Xian smiled bitterly, and said that Li Lao is worthy of being the sage of Chinese traditional medicine. This game of Go is also unique. Li Yanhua smiled and waved his hand. Seemingly modest, but there was also some pride between his eyebrows. At this moment, Bai Yuan followed Qin Mo and walked over slowly. Bai Xian was thrilled to see Mr. Qin's arrival. Why didn't you tell me? Then Bai Xin began to introduce Li Lao. That's what I'm telling you. Qin Mo, the young doctor who cured my persistent illness. Li Yanhua saw Qin Mo so young. There was disdain between his eyebrows. I heard you cured Bai Xin with acupuncture. May I see? Qin Mo said forcefully. Several silver needles instantly flew out of Qin Mo's hand. The silver needle fire fell on Bai Xian's back. Bai Xin's back seems to be on fire. Soon Bai Xin felt a lot more comfortable on his back. Qin Mo also took back the silver needle. Li Yanhua saw this. Excited stood up unexpectedly as fire Moxibustion. Forgive me. Who is your teacher? Qin Mo said indifferently that I taught myself. Grandpa and Grandma told me about the barren land. We must never reveal their existence, or you'll get yourself killed. This made Li Yanhua show his admiration. What a genius! At this time, Bai Xian joked on the side. Old Li, isn't your grandson also a genius? Recently, I refined a unique pill that is really amazing. Hearing Bai Xian's praise, Li Yanhua was also proud. Suddenly Qin Mo asked coldly, Is your grandson called Li Xiang? Li Yanhua was stunned and nodded. Qin Mo pointed at him with a cold smile and said, Please tell Li Xiang, this is the last time I warn him. He stole his pills from me. An ordinary person would bleed from every orifice within a week of eating it. Die. You Li family, behave yourselves. Qin Mo turned around and left, leaving Li Yanhua stunned. The night of Lu Xiaoli's birthday banquet. A lot of people came early in front of the hotel. After Huang Mao and the others learned that Qin Mo was coming, I couldn't help but laugh at that country bumpkin at the end of Qin dynasty. I'm sure he took the bus. Just then, suddenly there was a strong sound wave coming from the street. A Lamborghini appeared before everyone. And the person who gets off the bus, but it surprised everyone. Su Yan was stunned. How could it be Qin Mo? Goldie quickly seized the opportunity to humiliate Qin Mo. He walked over and laughed at Qin Mo. You value appearances. You don't have to borrow your roommate's sports car. You can borrow a limo if you want. And the underlings around yellow-haired also agree, that is, if you don't have money, don't be strong. Only Mother Su frowned. She wondered if she had hurt Qin Mo's pride. That's why he went out and borrowed the car. However, Qin Mo ignored everyone's sarcasm. Go straight to Lu Xiaoli. I gave him a birthday present that I had carefully prepared. This angered Qin Mo. How dare you get so close to Lu Xiaoli? Wait for Brother Jun to come and deal with you. Just thinking about the door being opened, a man in uniform came in. His name is Long Jun, born into a family of generals, and Lu Xiaoli grew up in a compound. Like Lu Xiaoli since childhood, I've been able to do it alone. Colleagues crippled more than 40 suitors. Seeing the arrival of the dragon army, Yellowhair has a wicked smile on his lips. Watch, someone's about to get screwed. Long Jun was ready to happily send blessings to Lu Xiaoli. He suddenly saw. Lu Xiaoli is looking up at the boy and smiling. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. How dare you steal a woman from our dragon army? You have to die today. However, Qin Mo looked curiously at this plain dew, fierce male fire. Brother, what's wrong? You call me big brother because you think you're fresh meat. Or do you want me to say I'm an older woman? Then he punched Qin Mo. And all I heard was a bang. Long Jun's fist was easily caught by Qin Mo. All the guests were stunned. You know, the dragon army is the best in the army. That punch could kill a tiger. Long Jun's veins popped in front of Qin Mo. Made him feel powerless for the first time. Qin Mo looked at him coldly. It's a bit much to disturb the party. If you want to hit, wait till after the birthday party. Just then, Lu Xiaoli shouted at the Dragon King. I didn't invite you. If you keep this up, get out of my birthday party. Long Jun Wenyan was stunned. I had to accept this grievance in my heart temporarily. Save it for later. Just as the birthday party continued, Long Jun suddenly smiled and said, Xiaoli, look what I got for you. I saw a foreign man. Walked in with grace. Everyone was stunned. Especially Lu Shiuli's teacher and student called Mr. Smith. He's the world's top fashion designer. A trendsetter in the fashion world. Smith went straight to Lu Shiuli. Beautiful lady. This is a dress I made just for you. When Lu Shiuli put on her dress, like a goddess, directly to the people present. The clothes are well designed. But in the end of Qin dynasty it seems that there are still some flaws. Pear, it looks so pretty on you. She's like a fairy. Suddenly a guest accidentally bumped into Su Yan. The red wine in Su Yan's cup spilled out. All over Lu Shiuli's clothes. Su Yan instantly panicked. Shiuli, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Lu Shiuli stared blankly at her beloved clothes. Tears fell. Of course Long Jun can't stand Lu Shiuli crying, said Mr. Smith hurriedly. Can you make another one? How much? I'll double it. Smith shook his head coldly. I only make one a month. That's my principle for fashion design. The dragon army saw that Smith was unwilling to attack, immediately pointed the finger at Su Yan. Look at what you have done. Do you know how hard it was for me to ask Mr. Smith? You ruined everything. The dragon army will take the lead. Everyone also pointed the finger at Su Yan. He scolded him in a few words. Su Yan lowered her head deeply, and keep repeating it. Just then, Qin Emo in the corner was holding a glass of red wine, slowly walked over. No, it's just one dress. I thought it was a big deal. Just when everyone couldn't understand what Qin Emo was doing, Qin Emo suddenly put his hand into the red wine glass, dipped the red wine directly, spilled on Lu Shiuli's clothes. To draw. Long Jun directly exploded when he saw this. What are you doing? Qin Emo said as he drew. You better shut up. The dragon army clenched its fists and prepared to smash Qin Emo. At this time Lu Shiuli suddenly said Long Jun. Let Qin Emo draw it. Anyway, the clothes are ruined. Lu Shiuli is the host of the banquet. People naturally listen to him. However, everyone looked at Qin Emo with more disgust. Qin Emo paid no attention to people's scolding. I saw that he sprinkled red wine on the dress a little bit. Smith, who was standing at the side, stared blankly at this Dong Feng Xiao. The eyes are getting deeper and deeper. At this time Lu Shiuli stopped crying. Gradually revealed a surprised expression. The guests at the side also gradually stared blankly. I saw Lu Shiuli dress seems to appear on a picture scroll. That's a skyrocketing crane. Come alive in the clouds. Smith looked at it and cried out excitedly. Oh my God! This is art! Art from China. At this moment, Qin Emo smiled and asked if he liked it. Lu Shiuli nodded heavily and liked it very much. This is the happiest moment of my day. Not far away, the dragon army heard Lu Shiuli. Thanks to Qin Emo, clench your fist. Lu Shiuli never showed him such a happy smile. It made him jealous. Smith immediately ran to Qin Emo. Can I have this dress, please? I'll pay anything. Qin Emo glanced at him indifferently. What a coincidence. I only do it once a month. After hearing Qin Mo's words, all the guests secretly cheered. Qin Mo's domineering answer. It's really too long for Chinese people to be ambitious. When the party is over and you leave. Su Yan lowered her head and walked to Qin Emo. And said thank you awkwardly. Qin Emo smiled and shook his head. He was Jiang Yi's daughter. I have to help him even if I'm emotional and reasonable. In an instant, all the guests surrounded Qin Emo. Thumbs up. And Yellow Hair and Dragon King were furious. Gritting his teeth hard, Qin Emo, I'm not done with you. Qin Emo returned to the dormitory after attending the banquet. Then Wang Xiaona gave him a letter. The letter read, Tomorrow afternoon at the Tiger Family Boxing Hall. The tiger roars to heaven. This self-reliance is extremely vigorous. It's really better than leopard print and others. But Qin Emo didn't take it to heart. Just so happens, the newly refined little rejuvenation pill is ready. You can use it to improve your cultivation first. Take Xiaopeiyuan pill. Later Qin dynasty immediately sat cross-legged and operated the cultivation method. The little cultivation pill continuously provides spiritual power. Let Qin Emo only feel like his body is burning. Profuse outward sweating. Qin Di seems to have noticed something. Look at my face. Let's take her out some other time. Suddenly, Qin Emo opened his eyes. Suddenly there was a strong wind blowing in the bedroom. Luo Jiang hurriedly closed the doors and windows. Mid-stage foundation establishment. Qin Emo looked at himself excitedly. Both hands feel the changes in body and internal force. This is the power of the middle stage of foundation establishment. Grandpa Dragon would be happy to see that. The next day, there are many people watching the fight in Hujiaquan Hall. But none of them are optimistic about Qin Wei, this youth, because the museum owner Hu Xiaotian, but a monster with a 356 game winning streak. At this moment, the door of Wujia Boxing Hall opened, seeing Tiger Roaring Sky coming. Many people who eat melons are particularly excited. I saw a man with a fierce face. Grinning, he walked over. First thing he does when he gets here is to put down a saw tablet, blocking the door, leaving only an entrance the size of a dog hole. Everyone saw this scene and could not help but open their mouths. Tiger Roar explained to everyone. Don't panic, it's a test for the challenger. If he doesn't pass, what qualifications does he have to be in our eyes? I want a proper fight. It's not child's play. Hu Xiutian's disciples echoed what the sect leader said. If the challenger who wants to be Tiger Senior doesn't have some strength, why stand before him? And this giant tablet weighs 1,000 pounds. However, everyone found that, at the bottom of the giant tablet, there's a little dog hole left. Little Leopard laughed coldly and said, Master, this move is too great. Even if Qin Wei comes, it's not a matter of advancing or retreating. At this time, Hu Xiaotian was angry and said, Respect your disciples, if you're any good. I wouldn't have to. But dare to lay hands on my disciple. He comes, he's dead. Just then, there was a sudden sound of footsteps outside the door. Many people who eat melons forget the past. Everyone wants to see the test facing Tiger Leader. What will this challenger do? Are you going to back down and be a ruffian or? At this moment, Hu Xiaotian's face was full of evil laughter. He wanted to see Qin Mo offer 5 on the spot, and something shocking happened. Qin Mo used the cave entrance. He directly lifted the stone tablet weighing thousands of pounds with one hand. See that it's already full. Qin Mo wondered if this was how everyone came in. And then put it down with ease. So that's what the gate looks like in a big city. If it's light. It directly shocked everyone present to drop their jaws. At this time, Hu Xiaotian clapped his hands and smiled at Qin Wei. You do deserve to fight me. Before we do anything, let me say something, little brother. You hurt my students badly. What do we have against you? Wu Xiaotian said this, just trying to put pressure on Qin Mu. Let it be psychologically disadvantaged, unexplained melon-eating masses. They began to blame the end of Qin dynasty, but then, Qin Mo refuted that the disciples of the Wu family boxing hall bullied men and women, looking for trouble everywhere. Why didn't you say anything? I'm here today to advise you to hold back. And you bite me back. Then I'll have to discipline you. Tiger Roaring Sky was stunned. Then he laughed. Ha! What a discipline! I'd like to see how you discipline me. Tiger immediately followed up with an arrow and rushed to Qin Mo to attack. Baby, it's a matter of seconds. With the roar of the tiger, he punched Qin Mo. Watch the approaching fist. Qin Mo remained calm and just broke through to the foundation establishment stage. I'll practice on you in the middle. Listen to a boom. The moment the fist arrives, Qin Mo's figure suddenly disappeared from where he was. Then Tiger Roaring Sky used Tiger Piercing Forest, but Qin Wei easily avoided it. The crowd was surprised to eat melons on the side. This kid evaded Tiger Leader's attack in the air. However, Tiger Xiaotian did not give Qin Mo a breather, but the storm of fists. But to Qin Mo, it was like a child playing house. Hu Xiaotian immediately used his trump card when he saw this. A fist attack from the sky came straight to Qin Mo. Fist and palm to palm, at the moment of impact. Everyone only felt that the ground was trembling. Wu Xiaotian looked at Qin Mo with an evil smile, laughed back. You're talented. I'll allow you to join my gym. I'll take care of you. You can do whatever you want in Dragon City. And the end of the Qin dynasty refused with righteous words. I wouldn't be working with you. But is that all you got? I was looking forward to it. Such an arrogant tone makes Hu Xiaotian instantly explode. You're such an ungrateful kid. The punishment was followed by a heavy punch to Qin Mo. Suddenly Qin Mo's eyes widened. I already gave you a chance. There's really no need for you to exist. Then the Qin dynasty started with a vigorous stride. Then he jumped up and attacked Tiger Roaring Sky. Hu Xiaotian did not realize the seriousness of the matter. The next second, Hu Xiaotian only felt a sharp pain in his arm. With a loud bang, the whole person was smashed to the ground by Qin Mo. Everyone was completely stunned. It's horrible. Hu Xiaotian was killed in a single strike. Shifu was defeated. Even his arm was destroyed. At this moment, Qin Mo's voice resounded throughout the entire boxing hall. Who else dares to bully like him? Conspiracy. Bear the consequences. At this time, Tiger Roaring Heaven's disciples had already been scared to kneel on the ground. This isn't a contest. More like a one-sided crush. The next night, Long Jun and Huang Mao found Wang Dali. To ask him to kill a student. Wang Gali swore to give it to me. Don't worry, I watched the match at Tiger House yesterday. There was a young fighter who killed Hu Xiaotian in one move. I learned it right away. Awesome. Qin Mo is dead for sure. These words happened to be overheard by Su Yan, who passed by, just when Su Yan wanted to call Qin Mo. I heard a bell ringing nearby. At this time, Qin Mo had long been stumped by Huang Mao and the others. Huang Mao pointed to Qin Mochi and shouted, I've been mad at you for a long time. Don't think about going back alive today. Then Yellow Hair, the dragon army is even more powerful. How dare you steal my thunder at Li's birthday party? I'll find a master to destroy you today. Qin Mo smiled. What are you looking for? Long Jun smiled wickedly and said it out loud, afraid to scare you to death. But before I could finish, Wang Gali and the others trembled and walked to Qin Wei. Fell to his knees with a thud. He begged Qin Wei repeatedly. This yellow hair and dragon army stunned the master. Is Qin Mo the young fighter you mentioned? The one who destroyed Tiger Roaring Sky. Qin Wei glanced at them in confusion. Is there anything else you need? Yellow hair and dragon army, a smile uglier than crying. No. Su Yan, who was hiding in the corner, stared blankly. Everything that happened was settled. Who is Qin Mo? Li Xiang wanted Su Yan to be willing to serve him. He took out the small Peiyuan pill as bait, just as Su Yan was about to put the pill in her mouth. Suddenly a shadow appeared. He snatched the pill from Su Yan's hand. Qin Mo held the pill and said coldly, You can't eat this pill. However, Li Xiang's face darkened when he saw Qin Mo's arrival. You mind your own business. Return the pills to Su Yan. Qin Mo glanced at Li Xiang. Eyes bloodshot, tired. The body has reached the point of exhaustion. If you want to die, I won't stop you, but don't implicate Su Yan. Su Yan was so angry that she wanted to grab it. Don't worry about me. Give me back the pills. Qin Mo raised the pill high above his head. In an instant, he crushed the pill into pieces. After doing all this, he left without looking back. Li Xiang looked at Qin Mo's departing figure. His expression gradually became vicious, white in a flash, inside a large shopping mall. Qin Mo came here early in a beautiful windbreaker. This is the invitation that my roommate knows about Qin Mo. It's for her. Suddenly, a voice came from Qin Mo's sorry. Weekend pancake stands are busy. Keep you waiting. Chen Wan appeared in front of Qin Mo like a fairy. Let's go in. The movie's about to start. As they walked hand in hand to the cinema, suddenly a voice came from behind. Isn't this Chen Wan? Chen Wan was stunned. A man and a woman came over. He glanced at Chen Huaho. Then he looked up and down at Chen Wan at the end of Qin dynasty. You rejected me. And that's what I found. Look at him. He's poor. Then he looked up again. Oh, I remember. I chased you because I wanted to play. You really take yourself seriously. It's in my bones. These words completely defeated Chen Wan's psychological defense. Tears welled up in her eyes. At this moment, Qin Mo suddenly stood in front of Chen Wan. If you can talk, talk. Bai Zhe shouted angrily. Who the hell are you? How dare you argue with me here? Did I ask you to interrupt? Just then, Bai Yuan suddenly appeared. Bai Zhe was stunned when he saw Bai Yu. What are you doing here? You know them. Zayuran seemed to understand something. Shifu was arguing with him just now, and then there's a smirk on the corner of his mouth. This Bai Zhe always loves to die. Let's teach him a lesson today. Then he said with a blank face. How do I know who he is? Zai's Wenyan was relieved. Then I thought to myself. My home is just a small pharmaceutical factory. If you can show off in front of Miss Bai, I'm sure you'll get a promotion. Moreover, I have been chasing Chen Wan for 3 years without success, and this one's soaking me in it. This makes Zai's face gradually become evil. He pulled out a wad of bills. It hit Qin Mo's face directly. Bai Zhe smiled and looked at Qin Mo. Get under my pants, and this money is yours. Bai Yuan was shocked. Then he covered his mouth and laughed. Master was angry. This fool is dead. At that time, Chen Wan looked at Qin Mo worriedly. They're from Zai Pharmaceutical. We can't afford to offend. Let's go, Qin Mo. But he suppressed his anger and said, Don't worry, let me make a call. Bai Xin? Dragon City has its own. I hope he disappears. Give you 10 minutes. Bai Zhe pointed at Qin Mo and laughed. What the F***ck are you pretending to be? Miss Bai is right next door. Don't even know you. Bai Yuan smiled and said nothing. But inside, I want to go up there and beat this idiot Bai Zhe. Bai Zhe was unhappy when he saw Qin Mo's calm expression. He clenched his fists and rushed towards Qin Mo. Just then, An angry congratulation came from the son of a bastard. Stop it. Zai's looked back and was stunned. Why are you here? However, the man humbly walked up to Qin Mo. A deep bow. Sorry, Mr. Qin. I'm returning it. This bastard has offended many people. I hope you forgive me. Bai Zai was completely stunned. Qin Moi raised her eyes and said casually, Your son? Bai Qi lowered his head in cold sweat. Qin Mo continued casually. Your son threw money in my face. Do you have a lot of money? Self-flagging. Directly facing Zai's is a crazy mountain. And his eyes were bloodshot from the beating. His face is swollen. Then the white flag pulled him to Qin Mo. Let him kneel down and say hi to Qin Mo. Zai's was beaten so badly that he couldn't speak properly. Covering his face, he mumbled. Mr. Qin, spare me! Chenwan, sorry. I'm shameless. Stick to you every day. Please have mercy on me. Chenwan sees Zai's like this, and I don't want to pursue it. Just go. Qin Mo also looked coldly at Zai's and scram. Next time you won't even get a chance to do it. Bai Qi quickly pulled up her son after listening. He nodded gratefully at Qin Mo. At this time, Bai Yuan came and smiled and said, Ha ha, I've always hated this Bai Zai. But it's not easy to show up in person. Fortunately, Shifu helped me vent my anger. Alright, we're done here. I have to get back. Master, take care of your health. Then he left. But look at Chenwan and Qin Mo talking and laughing. A trace of sadness rose in the heart of Ziyuan. Does Master have a girlfriend? It's so beautiful. If my body hadn't become like this. Is it possible to be so happy? Inside the screening hall, men and women hug each other and cry. Chenwan saw that tears could not stop flowing down. Qin Mo felt that this plot was speechless. At this moment, Chenwan suddenly looked at Qin Mo. Then, Qin Mo blushed and said, I want to ask, you're right about me. Is there? At this time, Qin Mo suddenly remembered Grandma Luo's words. Silently, girls like straight guys. I haven't waited for Chenwan to finish speaking. Qin Mo grabbed Chenwan's fair little hand directly. I'm right here with you. Qin Mo dropped a small bag from his pocket. Chenwan was stunned when she saw it. Qin Mo himself was stunned. When did this get in my pocket? And so it goes. First date in 18 years. Destroyed by gadgets falling out of pockets. Qin Mo returned to the dormitory with a depressed face. The three roommates saw Qin Mo coming back. How about a mean smile? Does it feel good? So you planted it. Qin Mo is crazy. I'll set you up. Don't you fucking run. I'm going to beat you to death when we run downstairs to the dormitory. Chandy seems to have noticed something. Pointing to Justice Lan, he said. Don't fight me first. What do you think that is? Qin Mo stopped clenching his fists. And it's yourself who sees justice. His eyes instantly turned cold. I saw that it said Qin Mo, a student of our school, for damaging school honor, publicly questioning Li Xiang, an honorary figure of the school. The whole school hereby criticizes. Anger forced Qin Mo to tear down the notice. I didn't expect my kind reminder, and became the target of hatred at school, and became a laughingstock the next morning. Medical research room. Li Xiang is discussing new scientific research with the school leaders. Su Yan, as an assistant, is recording the contents of several people's conversations. Suddenly, the door to the medical lab was kicked open. Qin Mo was holding a notice in his hand. Came in angry. The school leaders saw the arrival of the end of Qin dynasty. Roared, Bastard! The scientific research achievements of the students who are low in destruction. Here's your punishment. Why are you here if you don't think about it? Not convinced. Qin Mo's eyes swept over everyone present. Then he smiled and said, I want to convince you. Let's see if Li Xiang dares to have a medical debate with me. Li Xiang was stunned. And laugh, you jock. To argue with me. Qin Mo raised his eyebrows. You dare not? Li Xiang listened to Qin Mo's words. Laugh until my stomach hurts. Then I'll satisfy your self-torture. Although Li Xiang knew that this pill was refined by Qin Mo, but he was born into a generation of doctors. In terms of medicine, Qin Mo is really not in the eyes. Qin Mo came out of the laboratory, temporarily suppressed his anger. The late Qin dynasty did not take medical debate to heart, just to see how bloodshot Li Xiang and Professor Lin's eyes are. I don't know if it'll last till tomorrow. Then a voice stopped Qin Mo's footsteps. Are you Mr. Qin? Qin Mo couldn't help but stop and nod. The woman breathed a sigh of relief, and he said, I've finally found you, Mr. Qin. At first, our company wants to hire Hu Xiaotian as the insurance for our president, but after seeing you perform your magic at the gym, we'd like to hire you now. Qin Mo immediately refused. The woman quickly grabbed Mr. Qin, who was about to leave. If you accept the mission, Not only will you be able to do whatever you want in Dragon City, our president, and it will fulfill any request you make. Shinemo thought to himself that he wanted to cultivate with peace of mind in the future. Pills alone cost a lot of money. And you need to raise your sword. This EO might be able to help. I thought of this and agreed directly. Things are settled. When Shin was about to leave, a group of big, round-waisted men came over. No wonder you didn't hire us as bodyguards right away. So there's a backup plan. Then he looked at Shinemo fiercely. How dare you take this job? President Shin's bodyguard is none other than me, Shinemo said impatiently. But I answered it. You're just gonna have to give up, aren't you? But the man clenched his fists and rushed towards Shinemo. Then speak with strength. And all I hear is a boom. The man was hammered into the ground by Shinemo. The methods Shinemo displayed, and beat the 7-foot-tall guy to the punch. In front of everyone's eyes, Shinemo smiled and left. Looks like we got the right fire. The big plan after President Shin is guaranteed. The auditorium was filled early the next day. A lot of girls came specially for Li Xiang. At this moment, Shinemo opened the door of the auditorium. Everyone saw Shinmo's arrival. Pointing at Shinemo, he really dared to come. I admire his fearless spirit. The 3 roommates of the late Shin dynasty inherited the loss, the idea that you can't lose, and I pulled up a banner. I saw that it was written that I was Shinemo. Simple as they are. But he's got all the limbs, not afraid to make mistakes, frightening spirit. Shinemo felt ashamed after seeing it. I really want to go up and quit this roommate right away. Just as Shin dynasty was approaching the stage, Su Yan stopped his footsteps. Then helplessly sighed to the end of Shin dynasty. Why are you writing this? Don't embarrass yourself if you want to be famous. Shinemo ignored Su Yan's warning and headed straight for the stage. But as time passed, Li Xiang and Professor Lin withdrew and did not show up. The students are a little anxious to wait. The leaders in the front row are all beautiful. Don't know what happened. I called Li Xiang and Professor Lin, but they didn't answer. Shinemo closed his eyes to rest. Like a hunch. Just then, the doors to the auditorium opened. An old man and his bodyguard stumbled in. And he's got his back. It was Li Xiang who was about to die of exhaustion. Li Yanhua came straight to Shinemo. Then he knelt down directly with a thud. Mr. Qin, please save my grandson. Shinemo looked at Li Yanhua, who was kneeling there lightly. He wasn't surprised. Then I looked at Li Xiang, who was about to die of exhaustion. Teacher Li said indifferently, I warned you 3 times before. But it's too late now. Go back and prepare. Just then, Li Xiang is like a sister bug, climbed down to Qin's feet. Pray for Shinemo to save himself, and admitted in public that he stole the pill. Took away the honor of the late Qin dynasty and framed him. The eyes of everyone who learned the truth were filled with disbelief. At this moment, Shinemo said indifferently, you chose the road yourself. Besides, this pill is not something that ordinary people can control, and the side effects are just beginning. Voice just fell. Li Xiang's body, and its bizarre posture becomes distorted. After a few clicks, the limbs were broken. The heart-wrenching pain made him roar again. Su Yan, who was on the side, was so scared that she broke out in a cold sweat. That pill is so powerful. If Shinemo hadn't stopped me that day, I'm afraid Everyone in the audience turned green. Then someone couldn't help but scold Li Xiang. He tried to feed us. You're trying to kill me. You're a dirty thief. Li Xiang heard everyone's scolding, shed tears of regret. I still can't do anything right. But then Li Yanhua came. It's all Grandpa's fault for taking him into his arms. Family pressure shouldn't be on you alone. Don't worry. Grandpa will find a way to save you. Then he knelt down to Shinemo again. Mr. Qin, I know you made this pill. There must be something you can do. I beg you. The doctor's benevolence is what Grandma Luo always taught him. Although angry at Li Xiang's behavior, but it also made him suffer. Shinemo couldn't bear to take his life again. Besides, old Li knelt down personally to plead for mercy. There are ways. Yeah, he's wasted his whole life. Hospital bed. Shinemo helped them absorb the spirit power of the little essence cultivation pill, although he survived. But all the bones are broken. I'm afraid I'll be lying in bed for the rest of my life. Just as Shinemo was about to leave, Li Xiang said weakly, Shinemo? Thank you? Shinemo just got out of the hospital. A voice stopped him. Bai Yuran smiled and waved his hand. Master, finally found you. I'm going to race underground. Can you help me modify it? I'll take you with me. I can see that Bai Yuran likes these risks very much. stimulating activity. Nemo shook his head. He's not interested in underground racing or anything. Turned around and left. Bayurin watched Nemo leave. If you don't change it, I'll go anyway. Nobody cares about me anyway. Nemo ignored him due to laziness. He went straight back to the dormitory to cultivate. In the evening, Nemo had just finished cultivating, then the phone rang. Baishin's anxious voice came from the other end of the phone. Mr. Chin. Do you see the moon? He said he was coming out to see you today. He hasn't come home yet. Nemo frowned immediately. Suddenly remembered the words of 100 months since heaven said rest assured. I'll bring him back.